Now, we return to the fallout from the mistrial in the case against Karen Reed. The lead investigator, Trooper Michael Proctor, has been relieved of his duties. Following the jury's decision, the Massachusetts State Police offered condolences to the family of John O'Keefe and then went on to say, quote, upon learning today's result, the department took immediate action to relieve Trooper Michael Proctor of duty and formally transfer him out of the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office State Police Detectives Unit. Proctor is now the subject of an internal affairs investigation, and he has not commented up till this point. His crude text messages became a sideshow in this case, and the defense argued that it showed his bias against Karen Reed.
You see a message sent from Trooper DeChico on August 17, 2022 at 9:42 p.m.
Yes.
And is that an image contained on the next page, which is 2683?
Yes, it is.
And what is the image of?
That is a picture of Mr. Yannetti. Appears to be from quite some time ago. Okay, so these came from me. Funny, I'm going through his client's phone. No nude so far. I hate that man. I truly hate him.
Yeah, that was just disgraceful. His unprofessionalism was inexcusable. And there is an important distinction, too, with Proctor. There was no evidence that showed he actually took place in any tampering or framing of any kind. It was just that he was wrong in sending messages about the case to people who were not involved in it, family members, friends. And the words he used, just despicable. So, want to be clear, he had very bad behavior here. What impact will it have, if any, going forward now that he's fired? Let's talk about that. I want to bring in my guest. Former police lieutenant Mike Gould is with us, and Massachusetts trial attorney and former homicide prosecutor in Norfolk County, Rick Grundy. Good morning to you both. Lieutenant, let me begin with you, please. Your reaction to Trooper Proctor's firing and how you think this may impact the case going forward.
Right. So, hi, Julie. Good morning. So, you know, we tell our teenage kids, don't text, don't email. Everything that you do is memorialized forever. So, so his credibility is pretty much out the window. Regardless, you know, I never bought into the conspiracy theory personally myself that everybody was involved in, nor did they present a lot of evidence. But, of course, this is unprofessional, without a doubt, and for all the wrong reasons. So, yeah, he's not going to be a witness in the future. If this case gets retried, I personally doubt that it will. I think, as I said from the very, very beginning, vehicular homicides, reckless driving charges happen all the time, and this is going to end up in a wrongful death civil trial. I just don't see where they're going to produce any more scientific evidence, any more factual evidence. We haven't seen it yet, and there was a bunch of witnesses.
Right, Lieutenant, that's a great point, and that's exactly what I wanted to ask Rick Grundy about. Rick, looking at this case, if this was yours and you were tasked with trying this a second time around, I mean, really, they should actually, as I'm saying these words, Norfolk County should bring you back in to be a special prosecutor to try this case. If they have any sense at all, they will do that. Tell me, would you make some amendments to this indictment? Would you remove the murder charge and go strictly on the manslaughter?
I'd absolutely drop the second degree. It never belonged there. I'd get rid of it right away and go forward. Manslaughter is an enhancement to some degree of the motor vehicle homicide charge, which is a felony if you're alleging both negligence and being under the influence, as in this case. It is very popular amongst all district attorneys' office to put the manslaughter charge in there as well these days. It really is done as an opportunity to provide a incentive for a plea. So yes, I would get rid of the second right away. I'd also be there on July 25th for that status date, waiting anxiously for a trial date with 3 subpoenas, one for Karen Reed's father, one for Ted Daniels, and one for the keeper of video records for the station Mr. Daniels works for. So I appreciate what Mike just said, and I agree with 90% of it, but I would go forward and push forward for a second trial, because I just don't think Norfolk County put their best foot forward here And as in most cases, the prosecution learns more during the trial of a case and has better footing in a retrial than the defense. The defense here clearly gave it everything they had, clearly thought that they were going to get a favorable verdict quickly, trying to put a shine on this, that it was somehow a victory. It was not a victory for them. And in this particular set of circumstances, I think the Commonwealth should absolutely go forward with those lesser charges.
Right. As you said, Rick, retrial always favors the Commonwealth or the state. That's just the way it is. I'm not saying it just because of this case. If you've watched me for years, you know I've said it many times before. For the reason Rick just articulated, you learn, you get to see the defense that's presented. The defense already knows what you're coming with when you're the government. You're turning it all over, but you see the surprises come out at trial. We're still working here at Court TV to confirm what the split was. Lieutenant Gould, let me go back to you. We know the Commonwealth is intent on retrying this. What can the court do better in your opinion, in terms of, you know, the security, I mean, that was needed outside to contain the masses? Do you think we ought to have jury sequestration the next go around and a gag order?
Yeah, I mean, lately sequestration has not been very common. And that really is for the legal experts to determine that. I think that, again, this has been so divided. I give the jury a lot of credit for working through the emotional part of this. This is a small town divided. So if this was an acquittal, that would give somebody some closure. But right now, besides, of course, the family of the O'Keefes have no real answers. You have a bunch of people accused of conspiracy. So this community, and again, it's not like you melt into the woodwork like in New York City. These people live here, work here. So yeah, I think it got a little bit out of hand. We got to respect the First Amendment, so people have the right to protest, of course. So I'm not sure about how they honestly could have done it better. There was no violence. People are divided. They believe what they see. The needle has moved. For myself, the needle really hasn't moved from the very beginning of this, where the prosecution came out and I didn't see almost every witness never really was strong at the end of the day, whether it was the serologist with the blood alcohol content, the accident reconstructionist. I was always waiting for that very strong evidence. So I'm going to be anxious. I've kind of got obsessed with this trial. I'm as close to a juror, I think, because I've watched every detail. I've been to the crime scene. So I'm as close to a juror as possible, I think. And
so you were there when you visited. You were there recently, huh, Lieutenant?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in Boston on an unrelated...
Yeah. Anything you walked away from, having, learned, any new information you were able to glean just from going there?
Well, honestly, when I went to the crime scene at night, which was unusual, and I literally was on the front lawn there. I mean, again, a little bit weird, but I got obsessed and I wasn't doing anything. I wanted to drive by. But one thing that interests me, when I went on the property in front of the flagpole, the next door neighbor's dog barked. And that was interesting to me because that was the first thing I heard. There were some security lights and the dog barked. And I just thought to myself, obviously, I shouldn't say obviously, I hope that the investigators interviewed those people and say, hey, did your dog bark last night? If and so, when? So the dog is a witness in my mind, so to speak. So it's just not as clear cut. And there were so many underlying things that people had to believe from both sides that were incredible. When I take these cases as a witness, I'm looking for reasonableness and facts right. And reasonableness. So none of it ever added up to me. A lot of the evidence. I believe he was hit by a car, but I think he was sideswiped. And the intoxication element was never, ever, they were drinking since sunset, almost everybody. So there was a high level of intoxication where some people could be legless. I mean, Karen Reed was the designated driver in this case, if you think about it. And so I just don't think that was pounded home. I don't know. That's just my dealings with crime and alcohol-related crimes.
Sure. Well, in just hearing you talk, Mike, it makes me think of something. Rick, you've analyzed this case, for us, and when you really look at it, as Lieutenant was talking, I'm thinking how simple the facts are that the Commonwealth has to prove. What the defense is doing is a different story. They're trying to complicate things. But the Commonwealth, this homicide by vehicle while DUI, If you were doing round two, what are some of the things that you would do differently in terms of the ordering of the witnesses and the case presentation to prove that?
So, as you know, Julie, the prosecution, the worst thing you can do is try and hide your bad facts. You take your bad facts, you try to make them good facts or move them up that scale as much as you can, and you put them before the jury so that they can't get the visualization that you're trying to hide things. I think in that effort, the prosecution here really tripped themselves up because they were so focused on that. They didn't present with passion. They didn't present with commitment. It was all kind of in the same monotone. So they went through all this that they felt like we have to get this out there in front of the defense. And they had some good forensics. They had some very good forensic. They had some strong witnesses. They had some very good witnesses. They had some strong statements on behalf of Karen Reed, some of which didn't even come in. So you've got to pick your peaks and valleys here. It doesn't mean you don't cover that stuff, but it means when you get to those good things, you bring them out. You say them 3 different times in 3 different ways. You get 3 different witnesses to touch upon that. So the jury is hearing that repetitively, and you put down the notebook, you step in front of the jury, and you work with that witness to talk to that jury and tell them, I'm here, I believe this, I have come to you with my own conviction, my own credibility, and listen to this is important.
That's exactly right. That's how you do it. I'll say it again. They need to call you to be the special prosecutor, Rick. And the Commonwealth needs to call you too, Lieutenant Gould, to be the canine expert, because they never found one for rebuttal to refute the defense theory. So they've got a lot of homework to do. Everybody does in this one. I'm so glad we have you both on the program.